Hey everyone, it's Carla from Glittercat Studios. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to pop on and do a card, and I've got a different idea. I don't know if, if you're like me, but I love Victoria magazine. I've been reading it for years, and I'm not a hoarder, but I save all of them just in case, you know, you've got that crafty mindset where you're like, I might be able to use this later. So what I have done is I went through a bunch of them and pulled some images that I really liked that I thought maybe I could use in some cards. They don't have to be fancy. I printed a few of my own. This is one of my best. People love this one, Rust and Ghostface. These are all my original designs, so I wanted to see if there was a way maybe I could combine them. I love my die cuts, and this one is an original design. I've already cut it in half so that I can run it through my die cutting machine, because I don't have one of the big die cuts. It's about 6 inches wide. So I've got this already prepared, and I've gone through just to save some time, and I've already cut some things. I already knew I wanted to use this image for the, of course I can't find it now. Hang on, wanted to use this image as the main focal point. So that's the one I'm going to use. I really liked the frilly decorations on the pumpkins. These are glitter pumpkins. This is an old one from, I think the company was Grandin Road. They did one year a lot of different Halloween and fall decorations with glitter, and that's the kind that I like. I don't get into the spooky kind of evil satanic side of Halloween. I like the fall, but I like a little glam too. So that's what this is about. So I knew I was going to work on a black card. So I've got an A2 card. This is one of the ones that I got from my Dollar General haul a long time ago, and I'll link the video right up there in, where's my finger? Right up there in the box. And I've already cut a piece of silver cardstock. I got this on Amazon with a package of gold. I will link that down below so you can get them. They were only like $7.95, something like that. So anyway, I thought if I put this on the base of the card and then cut another piece, just plain black, just so you have that little tiny silver peeking through. I thought that would really look nice. So that's what I'm going to do. These are wonderful. If you don't have a set of these dies, please get them, because they will save you so much time. For instance, the big one right here on the end matches an A2 card perfectly. So when I cut this silver piece out, I didn't have to do any measuring. It just pops right on there, which means if I get the second largest one, then I can cut another piece of paper out that will be just enough of a border. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this all cut out nice and neat, and it just pops right off here. I love the washi tape. That way they don't go anywhere. And unfortunately I pulled it off too quickly, so I've got some damage there. So I'll just turn it over. Alright, so now we've got that ready to go on the card. So the silver will go down first. Then I wanted the black base to leave just a tiny, tiny little bit of a border. Next, I'm going to use an even smaller one, because I loved the look of this pattern. So I'm going to cut one, again, just about 1/4 inch all the way around, and I will be back. Alright, now we've got the patterned paper cut out. And I'm pretty sure that all of these square dies have a 1/4 of an inch difference all the way around. So that way you don't have to do any of that measuring for any of that. All right, so I am going to go ahead and assemble the base of this card then so that you can see what we're going to do. And I had been using tape runners, and then I realized just how expensive those suckers can get. So now I just found, well, a bunch of different sizes off Amazon, and it was cheaper than one tape runner. So that's the way we're going to do this. Doesn't matter if you don't get it straight. Use what you have. That's what I always say. Alright, so that one will go on there. I won't do that on camera. And I realized that there's going to be something on top of this, so I'm going to go ahead and use the shinier side. So, to make sure I stay in frame. I'm still not very good at this, so bear with me. Okay. I just knew it had been quite a while since I had put out a card video, and with it being July, you know what that time is. Halloween! I went into Hobby Lobby the other day with General Toot. He's my F3 Bengal, and they already had their Halloween stuff out. It was crazy. But it also gives me time to start thinking about what I want. So I never mind that extra time. Sometimes when I'm designing, my brain takes a while to percolate and get all the elements together. For instance, I cut these pages 2 days ago, and I'm just now getting to the place where I decided kind of what I wanted to do with them. I'm very excited about something coming up on my Etsy and website. Since I am trying to stay with the trends and the seasonal items, what I've decided to do is, well, let me preface this by saying years ago I started designing just scrapbook papers. And if y'all don't mind, I'll go ahead and talk and do this at the same time. So I started designing scrapbook papers before junk journals were a big thing. And I've got a lot of older sets in my Etsy shop that I've not yet put over onto my website, but they're coming. And what I decided to do, I don't know, night before last, was put together a set of curated papers for Halloween. Yesterday I designed, I think, 12 new ones that are 12 by 12 inches. And hang on a second, I can't talk and be accurate at the same time. There we go. Okay, so I went ahead and decided that that's what I wanted to do, and I started looking through some of my old Halloween papers, and they're gorgeous. I did some that have focal points, so you can cut them down and use them for cards if you want to. But this right here, this pattern was just happened to be one of them. And I lightened it up a little bit because, let me give you a little tip. When you don't take this to a professional printer and you're just trying to use your inkjet, and it's not on a laser, then the colors become desaturated. They get a little grayer, and they're not quite as bright and vibrant. And I really like that with my card papers. I just think they look a little better with your papers. So I went ahead and adjusted the brightness and the contrast, and it will be different for everyone's settings. And I promise I will make a video where I do a screen record and I show you exactly how you can resize these. This started being just a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I sized it down with just a very, very simple, very small size. If you look at the megabytes, it's very small size because it's not bloated like Photoshop. I've never used Photoshop, and now that they're doing subscriptions, I hate it, and doing generative AI along with it. But I've never, I've always used just plain Paint Shop Pro, and it's an earlier version. I swear it types in pencil, but how cool is that looking now? See that? I love the nice little border. So anyway, I decided that with some of these papers, I'm going to have some 8.5 by 11s in it. I also have 12 of these curated little 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sizes, so that if you want to, you can just cut off a little bit of the edge and stick it right on the front of a card like that. And boom, you've got an automatic card that you don't have to put a lot of thought into. My experience with design over the years, even though I'm just now trying to get recognized through YouTube and my art, is that a lot of people shy away from this because they just don't know where to start, or they don't know the vocabulary. They don't know what a lot of this stuff means, like PPI versus DPI. Well, PPI is what you design in, it's pixels per inch. But on the paper that you download, your printer uses dots per inch, and it's an old throwback to a dot matrix printer, probably from the 70s, I guess is when they used them. I don't know. Anyway, so now I've got the last panel, and I already like it. Sometimes I like designing in monotone, just doing the one thing. Now see this white here? That's from the silver, so you can either cut it off or you can take a black ink dauber and just go over it. I will probably cut it off, but I'm going to finish this first, make sure I get it all done. Okay, now for the next thing I wanted something a little prettier, since, as I've said, my business is more Victorian. And I loved this image, but of course it doesn't fit on the card just like you see it. So I found these beautiful dies on Amazon. They were with a set of three other full sets. And so I thought, my gosh, those are gorgeous, because each one has a different design in it. Let me show you a card that I designed with them very quickly, right here. And the nice thing is, because they are different designs, you can do them in different colors. So this is a card that I completed a couple of days ago, but I love the way it turned out. These really are, those are metal, okay? You can get these, they're book corners, you can get them from Amazon or wherever. Timu's got them, I think. This is a thank you card for a special friend, so once I print the thank you on the inside, I'm going to adhere this here and then put a little printed sentiment maybe right there in the front. But I just thought it was something a little extra. She did something very nice for me, and I wanted to show her my appreciation. But this also has the gold background, but this is all done with this die set. And on one of them, I even took this die and used it for the front of an envelope where you could use it as an address label. So many things you can do. I also like to take coordinated paper and line my envelopes, and then I'll usually put a wax seal right there that's mailable, one that won't crumble. It's not King's wax. Okay, so back to this. Next, I am going to put this where I want to capture. Now, there is a rule of threes. I don't know, you're probably not a math nerd like I am, but it's called the golden ratio, or phi. is the Greek symbol for it. And it's a rule that painters used to use in medieval times whenever a royal king was commissioning a painting for the castle. He would approach the artist and say, okay, I want you to have this ratio, 1.61 something, I don't have it memorized. I want this ratio in the painting. So when you are doing photography or you're doing layout composition, you can use phi as the ratio. And it just means that in a picture, either the first 2/3 or the last 2/3, 2/3 this way or 2/3 this way, however you frame it, that's going to give you the most pleasing, boy, I've got some glitter, or glare. That's going to give you the most pleasing subject. So I'm not going to do this one exactly with the pumpkin in the center. I hardly ever center anything anymore since I started studying math and learned about the beauty of that. If you look at the dimensions of a business card, they contain the ratio phi. They are present in a person's face, the length of the nose to the width of the cheeks. So it's all over. That ratio, it's one of the reasons I started studying science, because it fascinated me. But anyway, so I am going to die cut this one, and I will be back and show you what we get. Okay, let's see what we ended up with. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? And these dies are so good. Usually you have to sit and, take your tweezers and poke out some of the pieces that just didn't cut cleanly down into the bottom. But not this one. How beautiful is that? You like that as much as I do? I really, really love that. Okay, I went ahead and cut that out with my die cutter. Looks pretty good. But before I glue it down, I don't know if you have these things, but I love them. But if you drop them, they tend to break, so you kind of have to be careful with them. But it's for your daubers. So I've got some Palette Hybrid ink here that I use. I'm gonna ink up my dauber, and I'm just going to take it along the edges here. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, but I do like that look. Visually, what's happening is it's forcing the eye to the center of the image without the person even realizing it. Their eye just pops right over to the center, because anything dark recedes, anything light comes to the fore. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and just glue it down here. Try to get it centered as much as I can. Looks pretty good. And if you're like me, you get nuts if you get it off center. Okay, so while I was cutting, I had an idea. Now, when I was talking about those metal corners, I got them in antique gold, bright gold, and silver. So I'm going to audition these and see what they look like. Boy, that glare is just not working in my favor here today. Oh, that's not so bad. At least until I get these down. Let's see if we like them. Yeah, I think I'm going to... Now, you don't have to do this, but this is part of my brand. I like using more ornate objects, since I try to specialize in Victorian You know what you could even do? I'm going to use these, by the way, but I was just looking at the image here. Let's just take a little black on the back to that. And to me, that already vintaged it up a little bit. And you don't have to overdo it, but sometimes I do this a lot to my images when they're just need a little something extra, you know what I'm saying? So, basically that's the card. I will glue on one of these for you so you can see what I use. I like the B7000. A lot of people go with the E6000, but I learned that the B is better for holding metal. A little bit. It will cure in 3 minutes. I think it takes a full 24 minutes, not minutes, 24 hours, 24 to 30 hours to fully cure. Glue doesn't dry, by the way. Nail polish doesn't dry, it cures. It has to, the chemical matrices inside that matter has to physically form into a solid from the inside out. So things cure, they don't dry from the outside in. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll be right back. Okay, there it is. I don't know if you can see it or not without the glare, but oh, it's better. If you want to, you can put a sentiment on it. Okay, I am done. I keep calling them die cuts, but they're dies, metal dies. This one says Hello Autumn, and let's go in a set of artificial nails. This was in the bottom of it, and I loved it. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit, but I cut the Hello Autumn out of that, and I think it just looks perfect. What do you guys think? You like it? Don't like it? What do you think about using your magazines? Because these things can get expensive when we're buying a lot of clip art and ephemera, and now they've got something called, what is it, digital stamps. Don't fall for that. It's just clip art. I've got some great free, royalty-free clip art sites that I will be happy to give you if you just send me a request. Don't put your money into something that has existed forever and ever since, pretty much the digital age. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it when you guys comment. If you have any questions on something I've done, please don't hesitate to ask. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.